welcome back to another Xenoblade X video. It's been a while since I've made one of these, but there's a few builds I want to get out before Xenoblade X DE drops, and I have to grind out all my equipment again. This is going to be a battle against Gradivus the Headless Emperor using Gatling and a knife, with the idea being that Gradivus is one of the few difficult endgame enemies that is susceptible to sleep, and while sleep is a pretty bad status ailment, you can build around it. And then I'm using a thermal Gatling gun to take advantage of his natural thermal weakness. Now you might be asking yourself questions like, wouldn't an ether with Core Crusher still do more damage? Isn't sleep terrible? Does this build have any good points? So anyways, what I'm running right here is just a soft touch on both my melee weapons to avoid waking Gradivus up. If you break parts, he will still wake up, so you're going to have to target onto his body instead of onto one of his appendages, because you will break his appendages without it. Because of this, we also cannot run Appendage Crusher, which also further limits our damage output. We could still run it because Fire Carnival and Missile Volley will be hitting random appendages, but it's not really worth it. Outside of that, I'm just cramming as much range attack up, as well as a little bit of arts gain TP, just for a bit of TP economy, since I am using I'm going to be using Hellfire as well. On my armor, I'm just stacking as much potential in range attack as I can, while still fitting in 4 resistance reducers. I don't know if you technically need this much, but I tried it with 3 and he resisted sleep once, and I decided I didn't want to make this lottery even worse than it already is. So for the arts, we are running full specs for the aura because it boosts both my damages. Smooth recovery is just a green art so that I can build overdrive count quickly even when I'm low on TP. Energy source gives me potential up. I've already recorded the fight. I probably don't keep uptime on this as well as I should, but it's only affecting Hellfire, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. And then we get to Screamer. So this is the central art of the build. Inflicts sleep for 14 seconds that is being extended by a skill. By how much does the skill extend by? 18 seconds. So a total of 32 seconds of sleep. The problem with this is that in this game, whenever an enemy is already inflicted with a debuff or you're already inflicted with a buff, if you reapply the buff and it can be 1 level higher, there's a chance that you will get it 1 level higher. Sleep can be level 4, and if you ever end up inflicting level 4 sleep, you cannot reapply it, and by that point in the fight, Gradivus is probably low enough HP to where he will instantly enrage whenever he wakes up and become immune to sleep. So that's pretty much a game over if that happens. Though if you're careful about it, the odds of it happening are pretty unlikely because, again, sleep is pretty long and this build does have pretty decent damage output. So yeah, as long as you're not spamming Screamer way more than you need to, you shouldn't really run into that problem too much. Next up is Hellfire, which is basically just used because it's a strong art with a very fast animation. And then I'm running the good ranged attack arts, which are Fire Carnival, Bullet Twister, and Missile Volley. Missile Volley also has the benefit of inflicting thermal res down, which, to our benefit this time, can upgrade to thermal resistance down 4 if you get lucky to further increase your damage output. And finally the skills. As we already mentioned, Beauty Sleep is pretty much a necessity as it extends the sleep duration by over double. Trigger Happy is basically just to make it so that I can click my arts really fast, and same thing for Secondary Accelerator. I believe that with this build I can pretty easily get 3 rotations of my damaging arts off before Gradivus wakes up, and plus a few buffs if needed, and still be perfectly safe to fire off a Screamer before he wakes up. And finally, I'm running Inner Search. Originally this build was going to run 2 TP arts, but I changed the build and forgot to switch this out for Boosted Bullets. Either is fine. Boosted Bullets is probably a bit better, but Inner Search works perfectly fine. And that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the battle now. I will see you guys later, and I hope you enjoy.
Hellfire! Hey, hey!